Hello again. Welcome to our special online showcase in this World Water Day 2021. It is our honor to have you here with us, distinguished diplomats representing so many nations. Today, we will talk about water technologies that can help people get access to decent water in their daily life, no matter where in the world they live, but also have an extra value as means of relief in cases of disasters, natural or man-made. My name is Yoram Morad. I am the Special Envoy for International Water Affairs at Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Sitting here with many colleagues from the MFA, among others, including Ambassador Einat Schlein, Ambassador Gil Haskell, and many more distinguished participants. As some of you already know, Israel, a semi-arid country, has managed in the last decade to solve its acute water challenge. The secret lies in a holistic, integrative approach to the subject. It is our duty then to use our knowledge and experience on the ground, in order to give our share, collaborating with other nations and peoples to make the world we live in a better place. A lot of challenges to confront, and none of them can be neglected. Before giving our speakers the floor, a few technicalities with your permission. The event is being recorded. It will be uploaded to the YouTube channel of Mashav MATC and will be available there. Regarding questions, please write them down here on the chat option addressed to everyone. Our speakers will answer them at the end of the presentations. We do hope that you will find this event both interesting and a basis for further collaboration. Happy World Water Day. Are we ready with the clip? Okay. This is a good opportunity to really thank Clara for all the help she gives us with this broadcast. And there's no better time to thank Ms. Dalia Noy.
Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation, was launched 60 years ago to share the know-how and technologies which provided the basis for Israel's own rapid development. Mashav aims to empower those living in poverty in a holistic and innovative way and support fellow nations and communities in their struggle to achieve sustainable development, placing people at the heart of its initiatives. Our agricultural programs use unique techniques and farming methods to increase sustainability, food security, and hunger eradication. We believe that investment in education is an investment in our future and an agent for change around the world. We coordinate Israel's official humanitarian assistance, building medical facilities and supplying medicine in the wake of earthquakes, floods, famine, and other disasters. Mashav promotes innovative entrepreneurship as a means of advancing growth and prosperity. We believe that gender equality and women's empowerment are central to reach sustainable development. Our philosophy is to leave no one behind. During 6 decades, Mashav has trained over 300,000 people from more than 140 countries and has established development projects worldwide. Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation, is celebrating 60 years of sharing its experience and partnering for a better world.
Okay. As a special event for the diplomatic corps here in Israel, we thought that the first person to greet you for joining this event is the father of all foreign diplomats here in Israel. I will happily ask Ambassador Gil Haskel to say a few words.
Thank you, Yoram. Happy International Water Day. Definitely a happy occasion. For me, as Chief of Protocol, it's especially exciting to address this Mashav event, giving me a sense of deja vu, being the head of Mashav up until more or less 4 or 5 months ago, before I handed it over to the able hands of Ambassador Einat Schlein, which we will hear from in a moment. So first and foremost, Excellencies, it's a pleasure to see so many ambassadors and representatives of the missions here in Israel joining us for this very important event. And for me, it's as well as exciting to meet my former colleagues and friends from Mashav, so hello to everyone. And of course, to those who are not my former colleagues, it's great to meet you here online. And we're all hoping that very soon we will be able to meet physically in such events. I strongly remember 2 years ago, actually it was last year's event, where Yoram was working very, very hard to convene a water forum, and it was due in March last year. And we all worked for it very hard, and at the end of the day, due to COVID, we had to do it online as well. So hopefully next Water Day, we will all be together physically in one room, and we'll be able to see each other, shake hands, drink water together, and celebrate the renewal of our normal life, or at least a new norm of normal life. When we talk about water, and I was the head of Mashav for 6 years, I always said that I think water is the most basic and most important component of all international development work. And when you solve the issue of water to remote communities, to disadvantaged communities, I think most of the other components of international development will follow, or at least they will be in the able hands of those who have the water. And I think COVID-19 was a very, very stark reminder to all of us that remote communities cannot count on central governments for their basic needs, because we know that one of the issues and one of the main challenges of COVID was the lack of communication, physical communication between central government, between capitals and the remote communities, and bringing water to communities that were dependent on central government was a very, very, very big and central issue, at least in the first month of COVID. So I think this is a very, very important and pertinent meeting to discuss water technologies, because at the end of the day, I think a main pillar in development is how to make all communities around the globe water secure. I want to thank Mashav and Yoram for inviting me and inviting the diplomatic corps to attend this meeting. And I want to wish all of you a very, very successful meeting and water for all. Thank you. Toda rabba.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Gil. For a review of Mashav's vision, activities, and role in the water arena, and not only there, it is my honor to invite Ambassador Einat Schlein, Head of Mashav and Deputy Director General at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thank you, Einat.
Thank you, Yoram. Welcome to everyone. This is a wonderful opportunity to meet all of you and to speak of these very vital issues. For those whom I haven't met due to COVID-19, I hope to meet you soon. Mashav stands ready to work with all of you in the field of water and other fields. So Mashav, Israel's International Development Agency, promotes our core values for more than 62 years. In fact, we were working towards the UN SDGs years before this term came into being. We try to live up to our reputation as as a startup nation, integrating innovations, whether capacity building or an overall creative approach in every aspect of Mashav's work. Water scarcity is a dominant feature in Israel's history, as we live in a challenging location in this regard. Throughout the decades, we've been coming up with innovative and in many cases, life-saving technologies, creating methods and platforms for water efficiency and food security. These unique advantages become even more vital as many countries face the implications of the global climate change and desertification. Mashav promotes cutting-edge technologies as a part of its long-standing commitment for excellence in development. One of our main strengths is our ability to keep flexible while maintaining the highest standards as we go with the flow, as we celebrate Water Day today, and cater to our partners' needs. I hope that our session today would lead to future cooperation and invite you all to be actively engaged. Mashav will be happy to follow up and assist in securing the right solutions. We hope, obviously, as Ambassador Haskel mentioned before, to resume our physical presence abroad, to bring trainees to Israel for capacity building and send our experts abroad. In this regard, I should mention that this year, Mashav will deploy 6 experts in 3 continents, including a specialized water expert in India. And that is another evidence to our commitment to promote excellence among our partnering nations, and especially on water issues. I'm sure we will hear some wonderful ideas and great innovations today. So I want to wish us all a very fruitful workshop. Thank you, and we look forward to cooperate.
Thank you very much, Emma. Thank you very much indeed. You cannot see it yet, but if I will zoom out, you will see Lara, and you will also see that we're sitting at the MATC, Mashav Agricultural Training Center. They are our hosts, and they are Mashav's, a part of Mashav, but also the partners and the professional arm of our activity regarding agriculture and regarding water. So it is a pleasure to invite the head of Mashav MATC, Mr. Oded Chalamit, to talk about a view of MATC activities in agriculture and the water arena. Oded, thank you.
Thank you, Yoram, for your kind words. All life forms we know need water. And while looking from space, most of the Earth seems to be covered in water, but only 3% of them are sweet water. According to UN data, the population on Earth is growing, and even today, our demand and need for water exceeds the renewable amount of the world's water reservoir. Therefore, our water problem concentrates on its availability to us. So, availability of water to person refers to the presence of potable fresh water without investing any technological effort. It is no coincidence that this definition is vague. Water can be defined as available in India, for example, and this water may be considered undrinkable in Israel. So available water is a social concept with technological, economical, and environmental implications. Einat spoke about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. They are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all of us. They are included in the UN resolution called 2030 Agenda. The Sustainable Development Goals of the UN signal us their crucial importance internationally. SDG 6, for example, clean water is linked to both SDG 13, climate action, and SDG 2, which is zero hunger, and of course to SDG 17, partnership for those goals. All those goals require a comprehensive approach of the water handling and use everywhere on Earth. This comprehensive solution should take into account the dynamic interaction between the atmosphere, the geosphere, or all the land and rocks, the hydrosphere and the biosphere, which is all the ecosystems on Earth. And understanding that, you see the complexity of the solutions. In the last century, some technology has matured and improved dramatically water availability to mankind. We're speaking about pumps, we're speaking about pipes, we're speaking about under pressure water system. However, overutilization of water can lead to irreversible damage to the environment and deplete water sources. The story of Lake Aral is a sad example of overexploitation of water source by man. The story of Lake Aral shows that even countries rich in water resources, such as the state of Kazakhstan, may lose their water resources if they do not utilize them properly. The world is full of examples of overexploitation of water, and also in the US, for example, the mighty Colorado River, which once was abundant, has been overutilized and today does not even reach the ocean. The state of Israel has also dealt with period of water scarcity and developed a mode of economical use of water supported by various technologies assimilated into the Israeli culture. Today, through the technology developed here, Israel can help countries. For example, Israel can help the Indian subcontinent to deal with the water crisis and with the way to manage its water resources in an efficient, cost-effective, and sustainable way. Israeli companies have established hundreds of desalination plants in dozens of countries around the world. Thanks to technological research and development, and thanks to a groundbreaking green solution, Israel excels in the field of seawater desalination, fossil water desalination in desert, sewage treatment and recycling in order to produce usable water, state-of-the-art agricultural irrigation equipment, and changing the culture of households, reducing their water consumption. This morning, we chose to bring you a small selection of Israeli innovative water technologies. This is just a sample of the capabilities of the Israeli water technologies. Adopting Israeli technologies and adapting them can make a difference to the world availability to mankind on Earth, allowing us to continue consuming the fluid of life in a better way for us and for the star we live in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Oded, for your words. I think that many of our audiences really are not exactly aware of what's happening in Israel regarding the water sector, and I'm sure that your enlightening words really help them. When we're talking about dealing with crisis and the Israeli response for relief actions, we're actually talking about the best collaboration we could find, we as Moshav, and I'm talking about the Israeli Water Authority. Over there, Mr. Dani Laker is the head of Water Security, Emergency and Cyber Division at the Israeli Water Authority. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us now. We really, really hope that he will be able to join us afterwards. But I want you to know that it's not only us, we have a wonderful partner, and in a sense, every activity that we're doing in this sense is together with them. So we'll wait for Dani Laker, but we will move on to Mr. Mino Negrin, from the founder actually and manager of New Filtration, and he will talk about drinking water purification. Mino, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I will also take Danny's time if he's not here. So just allow me to share the screen, please. Thank you for having me. I am the founder and owner and manager of Nu Filtration. You can go to the next slide, please. We are here developing a new and a very innovative technology in order actually to try to comply with this very challenging goals, which were defined by the UN Agenda to 2030, basically to supply drinking water, potable water to all until 2030. Next slide, please. So this is a very challenging goal because, as a matter of fact, we have to supply water mainly to the remote places. And most of the problems that we have in those remote places are there is no electricity, you have no infrastructure in order to bring over there consumables, chemicals, fuel. There are very poor infrastructure. People are not very skilled to manage and to maintain systems or very sophisticated devices like desalination system, etc. And sources are polluted by different contaminants, and you have to take care of removing all of them. Next slide, please. So basically, a sustainable solution which will cope with those challenges should be actually looks to be very complicated to achieve, because it has to be with almost no relation to electricity, has to have almost no consumables. It has to be simple to install and operate, and at the top of that, it has to be affordable, because if it costs too much, no technology can simply cope with those challenges and provide drinking water in remote places, because people cannot simply afford it. So we have developed a technology, which is very simple at the end of the day. Next slide, please. A patented technology, which is based on this device. This device is not a filter, has not been produced as a filter, but as an artificial kidney, which is a medical device. Next slide, please. When somebody goes to has problems with his kidney, he's go through a medical process, which is called dialysis. You might know it, where actually the blood is circulated through an artificial kidney, which is this device. And the device is purifying the blood, very simply, by size exclusion. So after 2 or 3 hours, next slide, after the process is ended, the question is what to do with this filter. Actually, there are 2 options. The first option is simply to waste it, and it is a medical waste. The second one is to sterilize it and reprocessing it as a dialyzer for an additional use. The problem is that in order to reprocess it, you have to reuse it for the same patient. And therefore, next slide. Next slide, please. And therefore, in most of, the previous one, in most of the cases, in most of dialysis centers in the world, the device is simply wasted. There are 250 million of those devices, of those filters, of those artificial kidneys, which are wasted every year. Now the patent, which was which is very ingenious, it's not mine, we just bought it, which was thought about, created by a professor of the University of Tel Aviv, a professor which now today is very, very famous in Israel. His name is Professor Yoram Lass. Next slide. It's very, very simple. To take those devices after they have been used in dialysis, meaning you take them from the waste bin of dialysis centers. And we do the same sterilization that is dictated in order to reprocess as a dialysis, but instead of using it as a dialyzer, we reuse it as a water filter. Next slide, please. Why it is very ingenious? Because it is used as a filter at all standards, and actually is the best filter in the world. Why it is the best filter in the world? Because it simulates the best filter in the world, which is our kidneys. And basically, it is excluding by size exclusion any pollutant in the water which is bigger than 30 nanometers, which is 0.03 microns. Excluding totally. What this means, next slide, please. You can see, actually, this is what we call the filtration spectrum. Anything which is on the right side of the line is rejected by 100%, meaning that all the bacteria, and by all, we mean all, most of the viruses, even all the viruses which are dangerous to the human beings, are rejected by 100% by this filter, meaning that by this very accurate filtration, we achieve not only a filtration and disinfection of the water by removing all the microbiological agents which are in the water, together with all other materials. The only thing which passes through is water and salt. So it's not a desalination device, but it is actually a filtration and a disinfection device. Next slide, please. So actually, the unit is scalable so that we can manufacture systems for any kind of capacities. But once we get to the, please, next slide. So we have several applications: agriculture, drinking, pools, effluent, and industrial applications. But the one which I want to access now in a few minutes is the drinking water application. Next slide, please. Another one. So it's very, very simple. By activating a very, very small pressure with a hand pump or with the electrical pump, or even by gravity, water passes through the filters, through the membranes, basically, and it transforms the water in one sole pass into drinking water, as long as the water is not a salty one. So actually, where you have polluted water by microbiological agents, by viruses, by bacteria, the system is simply removing them by one sole pass with almost no pressure. And due to that, next slide, please. We want to show a very short movie about our system, which were developed in order to intervene into remote places. Please. Okay, I see that there is no sound, but anyhow, I will follow it. Actually, this is a system which is on a truck. It has his own generator. With a pickup, you can bring it to any kind of water source. Then you connect it to the generator, and it works. But this one, the one that you are going to see, is a revolutionary one. It's a small kit of almost, let's say, 16, 17 kilos. You can bring it to the water source. You connect it, you just throw the pipe into the river, into the lake, into the pond, into whatever, and then you start pumping with a hand pump. With the hand pump, the water passes through the filters, through the membranes that you see over there, and it simply fills up water at a rate of almost 8 liters per minute, which is a very, very big amount of water, transforming the source water into drinking one. And we have installed thousands of systems in developed countries. What you see here is simply transforming a water which was first not potable into drinking water, with no electricity, with no consumables, with no chemicals. The only thing that you have to do is to replace the membranes once every 2-3 years. And in this case, what you see here, that people put the system in the middle of the village. You have a tank on the top, and by gravity, the tank is filled up with contaminated water, and by gravity, it simply flows to the system. People are coming to the center of the village, open the tap, and they're drinking completely safe water, better than the one that we are drinking even in the developed world. Next slide, please. Next one. No, next one. This was this is the movie. So what you see here, there has been several scientific reports on the impact of those units. And what you can see that the diarrhea incidence rate has been reduced by 62%. The diarrhea, by the way, in those places is one of the first reasons for the death of children. So this is a scientific report on the immediate impact of our units. Next slide, please. And so this is the way in which we try to supply a sustainable solution. There is no need of electricity. It produces immediately safe water. The consumables are simply nothing. There are no consumables, so you don't have any problem with the infrastructure. Any unskilled person can operate it. And on the top of that, being the fact that it is a barrier to all pathogens, the cost of 1 liter of pure water is 0.08 US cents. The whole infrastructure, what you saw even before with the structure, with the tank, and with the system on the bottom, costs something like 3,000 euros, and it gives a solution, a very, very capable and sustainable solution for villages of up to 500 people. With almost actually with no operating cost. So this is the way in which we tackle this issue. Next slide. As I say, that we have a lot of units which are already installed for 5 years already now, almost worldwide, and we will be very, very happy to approach and to address any other need for this important task. Thank you very much. Next slide. Here you have my contacts, and we will be more than happy to address anybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mino. And we'll move on from water purification to water desalination. We have with us Ms. Sigal Levy. She's the Deputy CEO of GAL Water Technologies. She will talk about water desalination, the new mobile water purification system by GAL Mobile. Sigal, the floor is yours. Yeah. Ms. Sigal?
Can you hear me? שומעים אותי?
Yes, we hear you, and we see your presentation.
Okay, I'm just talking right now, 2 minutes. So my name is Sigal Levy from GAL Mobile Company. Our company dealing with water treatment solution for 27 years, especially in drinking water. יש איזושהי בעיה?
לא, הכל בסדר.
Okay. Today I would like to share with you our solution, the GAL Mobile, a water purification and desalination vehicle. Each GAL Mobile provides up to 140,000 cubic meter per day safe drinking water. It means up to 20,000 people per day. I would like to show you a short video that shows the unique capabilities of our solution.
The mobile water treatment vehicle purifies water from any source, anytime, to the WHO drinking water standards. In remote areas, in disaster situations, and for defense forces under immensely trying situations. It can purify up to 20,000 liters per day of seawater and 80,000 liters per day of contaminated or muddy river water with adequate storage capacity. Other noteworthy features: independent energy source, resistant to all weather conditions, transferability and high-level safety, easy to handle, automatic, huge fuel tank capacity. This extraordinary, feature-packed, all-terrain technological marvel is hereby dedicated to the nation at Suigam Taluka, Banaskantha district, Gujarat, to enable it to effectively tackle any emergency situation of shortage of drinking water. The mobile water treatment vehicle, an ingenious innovation indeed.
Okay, you may continue.
That's all. If someone wants to be in touch with me, it will be my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sigal. Let's move on. As you probably know, emergency relief is not taking place only at the first and or first 2-3 days. There is more to be done. When infrastructure is damaged, sometimes it takes a few months to repair it. And the necessity of having someone that can really deal also with the infrastructure and give assistance from the beginning until the infrastructure is being built again, and maybe even better in order to be prepared for future disasters like hurricanes. You know, once you suffer from a hurricane, you can start preparing yourself for the next one. So also for that, we have Mr. Oren Gilat with us. He's the VP for Research and Development at Faro Emergency Solutions. And he will talk about an issue that is very, very important, and many times when you think about water, it's being neglected. Emergency sanitation system, rapid deployment emergency structures, and operation methods. Oren, please.
Thank you very much. Let me just share my screen, which will be this one. So hi, my name is Oren Gilat, and I'm the Research and Development VP at Faro, as I said, which is dedicated to provide a new and unique emergency solutions. Natural disaster kills over 60,000 people per year. Looking at our days, natural disasters becoming more frequent and increasing by the year. One of the main challenges is to deal with is to prevent the second dead wave from infections and morbidity. The loss of water and sewage infrastructure is one of the main disease spread stimulator, as people keep on living and still having their needs done without being able to take care of a proper care of the human waste. We are in massive amounts. We are looking at the fast lane to disease spreads. Structures are being damaged, and being able to access disaster area must be taken under consideration both in solution design and logistic operation. Our ability to provide the needed resources to the population is crucial, mainly in places that have been remote and disconnected and hard to reach. As fast as we react and provide alternative structures for the use of the heated population, as more life we save. Every hour counts here. Looking for the right solution for the sanitation problem, while keeping in mind that we must solve as many problems that natural disaster confront us with, while need to have a light logistic demands and operation, and must be suitable for mass use for a long period of time, made us be creative and innovative as possible. being installed under 15 minutes for 17 toilet booths with minimal labor power needed to deploy, allows us the ability to set a large array for massive usage in very short times on unparalleled sites. Emergency equipment tend to be stored for a long time and hopefully stay stored for good. Reducing storage area and maintenance needs save resources and money. Keeping a static and pleasant user experience help us to keep order and calm with disaster-stricken population. Keep human standard in these scenarios demands detailed and simple and efficient method. Working with the latest technology, our structure been able to handle an extreme weather conditions. New techniques being used remove the needs in running electricity, and our methods also remove the needs in running water and sewage, taking in mind those will be shut in case of major impact. This helps us to deliver a solution that can be implemented in every scenario. Mass population use must take in mind all kinds of population. We designed as part of each structure the disabled accessible booth to meet their requirements. Our population fit air transport, which will allow us to provide a remote and disconnected area the help they need. Let's have a look. So using the same technology as you see now allows us to provide a wide range of emergency response solutions. We can also provide a 12-booth shower system, including all the water and electricity structures needed, built in and ready to deploy. Same goes for command and control centers, structured with all what they need inside, all the system built in. Same goes for dining rooms and medical tents and shelters, of course. We believe in tailor-made solution, and our only limitation is our imagination. Thank you very much. You have my contact here, and we'll be happy to reach and engage each one of you. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much. It's a good time to remind you all that Dalia Noy, whom I started to thank also before, she's the one behind all this amazing operation, very difficult one. I would like to remind you that she sent you also a paper with more details regarding all the companies we're talking about today, including the contact details, and you're more than welcome to use them. Okay, so we saw already that if the water is needs, we can purify it even manually. We saw that if needed, we can desalinate water. But what if we don't have water at all? To answer that question, we have with us Mr. Michael Rootman. He's the Deputy CAO and the board member of WaterGen, and he will talk about immediate and unlimited water supply from the air. Michael, thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning or afternoon, everybody. Great pleasure being here. Thanks a lot for Mashav to organize such an amazing event. And I will take the next few minutes and show you how we create water from air and deliver it in today more than 80 countries around the globe. So I will share my screen. One sec. Can you see it?
Yes.
Perfect. So again, hello and welcome to the world of WaterGen. If we are talking and looking at the basic water equation, we find three main variables in this equation. The first one is the source, and as all my colleagues now before me discussed, all the issues that we have with the water sources on our planet, and we all know that they are running out, and the world population is growing, and the contamination and everything. It's a huge issue. The second variable is the infrastructure, which is also crucial. And when we started WaterGen, our main target market that we were aiming at, we thought about going to countries with pure infrastructure. But now we see that our main markets are developed countries, and countries like the US, Australia, Spain, Japan are suffering from a very, very problematic infrastructure delivering already contaminated tap water to the civilians. And the third thing, which starts to be one of our biggest problems of the 21st century, is the plastic wastage, that people consume more and more of packaged water. About 50% of the European population drinking packaged water, and around the globe 1 million bottles are purchased every minute, with about 92% of them are not recycled. So we are just actually at the beginning of a huge crisis, huge environmental crisis, which will be caused by all the plastic wastage that we are generating. So that's how we came up with the vision and mission of WaterGen. And our vision is to create water from air to people everywhere, illuminating the source issue and the infrastructure and the delivery. And our mission is to provide humanity with a renewable source of high quality drinking water using state-of-art technology that we extract from the air, making it available anywhere to anyone on demand in a sustainable way. In a few words about us. So how we create water out of air. Basically, we are using condensation. But condensation wasn't invented by WaterGen. Condensation is here for thousands of years. But what we did, we reinvented the heat exchanger. By reinventing the heat exchanger, we changed the structure of the heat exchanger and the materials that it's made of. And we are able actually to create up to 5 times more water per any kilowatt of energy than any other technology on the market. Just to brag a little bit, WaterGen was chosen as the best innovation for 2019 by the Time magazine. We got Best Innovation Awards in the CES Las Vegas for 2019 and 2020. We've been chosen as the top 50 companies, tech pioneers for the World Economic Forum, and much more. As a global recognition, we expanded our operation, as I said before, to more than 80 countries around the globe. Started to work in India, Brazil, very, very close work to with United Nations, very, very big expansions in the JCC area with a new company and a central hub in Abu Dhabi. Today in the company, we have 86 employees. We have offices in Israel, United States, China, and Russia. We have 42 patents and 27 more pending. And we are focusing on 3 main verticals. The first one is on the consumer level. The second, it's small machines, which are targeting homes and offices, commercial devices, which are targeting emergency response forces, army, police, municipalities, and agricultural needs, and also in the automotive sector, which we are incorporated with the biggest OEM automotive manufacturers, actually to develop water capabilities, water generation capabilities inside vehicles as OEM and aftermarket solutions. So how we do it? We actually take the air, we filter the air, then the condensation process occurs, then we filter the water, adding the essential minerals, and then we just dispense it to the consumers. A few words about our technology. So as I said before, we reinvented the heat exchanger, but with a combination, we created a very, very sophisticated algorithmic scheme that allows us to save much more power and to work in any, to work and connect and generate water with any power source. We can work with alternative energy sources, we can work with the grid, we can work with diesel generators. As long as there is power, there will be water. Here a little bit about our product portfolio and the future products that we will introduce later this year. So first we start with the Genie, which is a relatively small device that produces up to 30 liters of water per day, can work anywhere. All you need is just a simple plug. You plug it into the electricity and the water starts to run out. Our medium device that can produce up to 800 liters, and our large scale device, which can produce up to 5,000 liters per 24 hours. Later this year, we'll also introduce our Genie Home, which will be a smaller device that will produce up to 20 liters per day, and the M1, which will be very, very suitable for African countries and in other countries who will be 100 dependent off-grid, that will create up to 200 liters per day. Just in a few words about our automotive solutions, we are working today with the biggest car manufacturers and the biggest recreational vehicle manufacturers to deliver water solutions integrated into vehicles. And we're all planning to the future. We are looking at autonomous vehicles who will have electricity to run them, but they must have water to clean their sensors. And if there will be no water in those vehicles, they will be useless. So we also are incorporating the atmospheric water generator systems that will create technical water for autonomous vehicles. Here in the glance, just a few companies that we are in collaboration with or partnering with around the globe. And I would like to finish my presentation with a short movie of how we summarize 2020, which was one of the hardest years for the humanity, how we as Watergen contributed to the world crisis with the pandemic effect. 1 second.
"2020 was a challenging year, yet at Watergen, we pushed ahead and saw unprecedented progress in our mission to guarantee fresh and clean drinking water to every human being on the planet. We partnered with Australia's disaster response team, We brought water to the Philippines and Indonesia. In Thailand, our products were used to care for the elderly. In Cambodia, WaterGen was installed in hospitals, and we provided clean drinking water aid to those suffering from heavy flooding in the region. We partnered with the national government of Uzbekistan to deploy our technology in the country, and following the historic Abraham Accords, we signed a partnership with Aldara in the UAE to bring the best quality drinking water to the desert. We launched a strategic project in Azerbaijan to combat drinking water scarcity, and we partnered with the Ford Foundation and World Vision to provide drinking water to rural areas in South Africa. In Senegal, we provided drinking water for the German army. And we delivered drinking water to dozens of countries like Niger, with little clean water resources and poor infrastructure. Microsoft requested WaterGen for their new Clean headquarters in Israel. And WaterGen's products began to serve as water makers for boutique liquor distilleries. Water presented its solutions to global thought leaders and brought life-saving devices to the water-scarce Gaza Strip. We installed from Poland to Venezuela to Chile to Costa Rica. And some of our distributors have begun bottling WaterGen water under a premium brand. We participated in CES 2020 and won first place award there for the second year in a row. Disney headquarters also invited us to present to its global team as one of CES 2020's best. We participated in the annual China International Import Expo and partnered with the Wall Street Journal to become the first ever exclusive drinking water from air supplier at Davos. We presented WaterGen to worldwide leaders, amazing events, and participated in panels and webinars around the world. The BBC featured our work, as did Forbes and the New York Times. Videos were created about us in Hebrew, in Arabic, in Spanish, and in Chinese. Nas Daily discovered our revolutionary technology in a piece that got 8 million views. As we begin 2021, we look forward to forging ahead with our missions and to bringing the best quality drinking water to every person in need. WaterGen, creating drinking water from air for people everywhere. 2020 was a challenging year, yet at WaterGen, we pushed ahead and saw.
Thank you very, very much for your time. I am here available for all your questions. Dalia would share my contacts with anyone. And thank you again very much for the opportunity to present here.
Thank you very much, Michael. As you all can see, when people are passionate about their work, they have no limits, including no time limits. So I really hope that you will bear with us and excuse them for using the 7 minutes and a little bit more. Now, if we'll go back to Danny Lacker, which the person I mentioned before, there was a reason for us to want him to be the first one to speak. Because in cases of emergency, when we need to act, a phone call to Danny Lacker will be the first thing that we will do. So since we have Danny Lacker here with us, finally, we will give him the floor, and please try to listen as if this was the first presentation you got today. Danny, welcome.
Thank you, Yoram. Sorry, everyone, I was a bit late, technical problems, but here we are. Let's go straight to the thing. So we all know that water are very crucial, and we must supply them 24/7 during crisis as well. And although Israel's water system is very stabilized, we have a lot of threats on our water system. We are under attacks to contaminate our water systems, to be attacked by cyber attacks, missiles, sometimes even technical problems. And all in all, we have to make sure that if we have any challenge in our water supply system, we'll be able to prevent it if possible, if not, to provide a good solution to consumers. As we say, we cannot leave them without running water. So what I will try to do in the coming few minutes is to show you how technology, and especially Israel technology, can help us both providing and supplying alternative water in all cases. For instance, security issues. We have a range of security systems, CCTV cameras, gates, sensor, online detection system that can detect the water quality 24/7, online system, and provide us an example and an alert if we have any problem supplying the water that won't fall into an event. We will be prepared and act immediately if we have some problem with our water quality. We have all kinds of technologies, both using all kinds of electricity, a sensor, but also using behavior of fishes and daphnes and other living parts that can provide us exactly what is the quality of the water. Although we, as I said, in the last year, we have attacks from cybersecurity issues that are aiming specifically to water system, we succeed to overcome them with a lot of Israeli technology of protecting cybersecurity issues. And we are under a process of applying a national security, what we call SOC Security Operations Center, that will detect 24/7 all the major water supplier and make sure that they're not being attacked under cybersecurity is attacked. But if we fall into an event that from time to time happens that you are opening your taps and you don't have flowing water, we are making sure that we will have the ability to supply alternative water to consumers until we fix the system or decontaminate it or whatever is the challenge. Of course, let's say the traditional way of supplying it is with water tanks, as you can see in this slide, black water tanks, but they have a lot of problems, especially they required a lot of real estate place, and in Israel, we don't have enough real estate place for that. And also it requires a lot of heavy transportation and cleaning and decontaminating the system themselves all the time. So we apply through Israeli companies the ability to supply alternative water using all kinds of blizzards, clean blizzards, one-time nylon bags that you do not have to clean and chlorinize. Everything can be folded and being shifted to small bags, as you can see in this slide, but also we are already posting those blizzards under benches and schools and other public places that we won't waste time when we have to supply alternative water. It will be operated immediately. But eventually, one of the main challenges is with what consumers will come and consume the water. As you can see in this slide, which is a real event that occurred, you can see that people come with those plastic tanks, and I'm not sure they're very clean if there was fuel or oil or anything in those tanks before they came and take the alternative water. So we made a tender in Israel, and every consumer in Israel has in his municipal utility one of those water pouches contain 1 gallon or 4 liters of water. You can put in this pouch, and you can use it 2 years in a row. Every consumer in Israel has one of those folded to time of crisis in his municipal utilities. But beside the abilities of the municipal utilities and water corporation, we as the Israel Water Authority build a national reserve that can supply alternative water to around 400,000 people in any case, in any crisis. With those equipment, as you see, both the pouches and both the blizzards folded in special boxes, we can shift it from place to place and operate it in few hours and supply alternative water. Here it's, as you see, it's posted in 3 major storage places in Israel. And eventually we can operate until 400,000 people, know exactly where each of those blizzards is posted. We can also detect exactly the water tanks that supply those blizzards, where are they posted. We can, as you saw, even create and produce water or purify water. And we have a solution to provide everywhere, anywhere. We talked already about sewage. You saw the solution. Israel Water Authority purchased also the solutions for sewage, as you saw in our presentation, and we have the ability both to supply alternative water and to provide also solutions to sewage. But the main thing that I would like you to remember from this presentation is that Israel can do it beside in Israel, also around the world. We already assisted in few places in the world, supplying alternative water, giving some aid to people that required. We did it in Charleston, West Virginia. We did it in the Philippines. And recently, around a year ago, we even supplied alternative water in the Bahamas when they had a real crisis of supplying water after a hurricane that they had. And we'll finish with a short clip that show, but before the clip, just remember, if you know of anyone that requires help supplying water, in Israel Water Authority, we have both the ability to send our teams and our equipment to assist, and also we can arrange some delegations from technology companies that part of them you saw in these presentations, and we can supply the right solution to any crisis.
דני, לא שומעים, אז תדבר על, אתה יכול לדבר קצת על הקליפ.
I understand there's a problem with the voice, so as you can see, the hurricane created a lot of damages in the island of the Great Bahamas, and we send the equipment that I showed in the presentation, an Israeli aircraft with Moshav together with teams of volunteers and teams of my division. We provide in the Bahamas few alternative water supply stations, teaching the local people how to supply it, as you can see right now. And in a few minutes, you will see the whole operation. Here you see that how people come, take alternative water. We left the equipment over there. We sent some expert to provide them aid, how to recover their water system. And as I was saying, we can get anywhere around the world. We have the ability to supply alternative water and to find solutions, technology solutions, and also a lot of experts in the water field to help around the world. And we'll be more than glad to share this knowledge and help in times of crisis. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Danny. Okay, I already said a few words regarding the importance of infrastructure. It's great to have on the first day, the second day, even during the first month. But rehabilitating and improving the infrastructure is a must. And about that, I will invite Mr. Gil Saad, the marketing manager at the EMS Mekorot Project Ltd. He will talk about water infrastructure recovery.
Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you, Daniel Acker, my colleague, and thank you to Mashab team for the great Water Day. Will start my presentation in a second.
את מוכנה כבר, גיבוי?
רואים? רואים?
לא, אתה רוצה שנפעיל את הגיבוי?
Hang on a second. אז אני צריך מהשני.
Okay, Gil, if it doesn't work, remember that we have the backup here.
לא, לא עובד. לא, אני צריך את עזרתכם. It doesn't work. אני לא יכול ואני באמצע. לא, הכל בסדר, סתם באתי. עכשיו?
Okay, it's on.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the delay. Thank you very much. I'm Gil. I'm part of EMS, is part of Mekorot Group, the Israeli National Water Company. We established nearly 65 years ago, and I would like to share with you some of our rehabilitation, infrastructure recovery in the water field. Let's start. לחזור ראשון. Yes, I will start with the second, please. Yes, I will start with a short movie about my mobile UF mobile system. when you have a disaster like Danny spoke about it, you can use one of our mobile unit to recovery, and it will supply 5,000 liters per hour. So please, can you start, press the YouTube link, Lara? Lara?
Just a second.
Thanks.
Just a second.
לא מצליחה?
זה לא זה.
זה לא זה?
לא, זה לא זה. את הלינק, צריכה ללחוץ על הלינק.
המסעדות בטיילת.
לא, זה לא זה. לא, זה לא זה. צריך את הלינק. מהמצגת את הלינק. תחזרי בבקשה. זה, כן, הלינק. לחיצה אחת זה יעבוד, רגע.
רואים את זה?
תני בבקשה. לא,
הכירו, מקם הגשם בדלתון. מאחורי המקרה
זה לא זה.
המסתורי שבדלתון מסתתר הסוד.
תחזרי בבקשה. We have some problem with our clip. תעברי למחשב, תנסי לעבור למחשב. אוקיי. So we have some clips, לחיצה אחת וזהו. לא לגעת. Thank you. So this is the Granite, our mobile water supply in case of emergency. מצגת, תחזרו. יופי, הבאה בתור בבקשה. שקף הבא, יופי, תודה. So EMS, as I said, is part of Mekorot Group, the Israeli National Water Company. The company's expertise in the field of water, sewage, and effluent infrastructure and facilities, established in 1961. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. One of part of our scope of activities is lining up water pipelines up to 9 feet diameter. And I would like to show you when we have some problem in our pipeline when it's working, so how we handle it and fix it. So can you please press the link in the bottom of the slide, one press please, and you will see the recovery of pipeline. Thank you. Let's go back to the presentation. So you see how we fixed and repaired in a few hours a pipeline that doesn't work. Our next scope of activity is command and control. We can control in a SCADA all the water system and stations, nearly 3,000 in Israel. We establish many of them in each drilling well and each pumping station, and we can control it in the centers around Israel. Next, please. We can also 24/7 monitoring the fields of the water and all the performance and parameters of the water, so we can check in 24 hours what's the size and how is it, and we can stop and fix it if we have problem. Next, please. Water treatment. Also, we have disinfection by using the cetochloration, water disinfection by using the green method of UV disinfection systems. It's all designed and established in EMS and spread around Israel. Next, please. Next, please. Yes, I will move to the pumping industry that we have here. We can design a water pump and establish and install it in the wells that we are drilling. Please, can you press the link? Laura, can you please press the link? Clara?
1 minute, she try.
תודה. גם תשאיר אותם. So what we saw now is a project in Carmel, New Jerusalem. We built it now, it's nearly finished, and we are designed and installed 7 pumps, water pumps. Let's go to the next slide, please. Our drilling method, we have a drilling machine in EMS, and we have carry up a deep and shallow drilling by 5 rotary and reverse circulation rigs. We can drill down to 1.5 kilometers to supply water in a desert in any area. Can you please press the movie? מנסה לרה? כן, בדיוק. So, thank you. This is our drilling unit in Israel, that we have a drilling machine for finding the water inside under the ground. Next, please.
Okay, Gil, I think that we need to move on to the next presentation. I mean,
yeah, this is my last. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's it.
Yes, thank you very
Gil,
much.
and thank you, Lara. I suppose that you didn't see her running between one computer and the other, trying to handle everything. So, Lara, I really wanted to know that we appreciate the effort. It was like in the gym.
Thank you very much, Lara.
Okay, let's move on directly to our next presentation. Mr. Menachem Gertner is the International Business Development Manager at Odis. Menachem, the floor is yours, and I'm sorry, but I really need to make sure that you will be very brief and precise. Thank you. Menachem?
Hi, I'm sure that you will give me some allowance as other presenters did. Anyway.
This is the problem. This is the problem when other presenters take their time because of one reason or the other. We really need to insist doing something we didn't want to do today, and to make sure that you will be on time, because, you know, we at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and diplomats, we're all civil servants, and we love to have our lunch at 1 o'clock, you know, and 1:15 at the most. So please, thank you.
Okay. I hope that you see my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I will thank you for having me, and please let me present our solutions, water treatment solutions for various water challenges that we face nowadays, both polluted water and water security. We offer various solutions in many aspects, both for drinking water, for wastewater treatment and recycling, and optimizing water treatment for agricultural solutions. Now, you know, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So in this case, you can see what we do in one picture. We take unusable water or undrinkable water and turn it into drinkable water or good water, using the water treatment system made by Odis. In this case, this is a mobile one in the background. Now, in a more definitive way, Odis is a globally leading provider of filtration equipment, integrated water and wastewater treatment solutions for various applications and industries. I think one of the main advantages of Odis is the fact that we have a very sophisticated manufacturing plant that, coupled with the in-house design capabilities, allow us to offer highly customized solutions to almost any application or need, and it is very important. We offer solutions for various applications: drinking water, including seawater, rivers and lakes, brackish water, and groundwater, and any other type of water source, but also municipal and domestic wastewater, industrial wastewater. Basically, we offer a solution for almost any application related to water. Using various technologies, as shown here, we are capable of addressing variety of applications, including master water plans for countries, solutions for smart cities, offering national projects for entire countries, solutions for disaster relief, and also parts of equipment. One of the main advantages of all this is the fact is that we offer the entire added value chain, starting from the preliminary analysis of water in case we need to, going through the engineering and research and design of systems, going through the manufacturing, assembly, and after-sales support. So basically, we serve as a one-stop shop for the whole water treatment plant. This allows us to offer a wide range of capacities. In this case, these are very large systems, as you can see here on the left, 43,000 cubic meter per day, and also on the right, very small ones, mobile ones, of 36 cubic meters per day, and of course, anything in the range. Same applies also to our filters that can offer up to, as you can see here on the left, almost 500,000 cubic meter per day, and also small ones, something like around 100 cubic meter per day. We have also a wide range of mounting possibilities, either mobile, on trolleys, to install our systems in containers, in skids, or even assemble them on site. Our systems can also, shown here, are very robust and durable ones and can withstand very harsh operating conditions as shown here. Now, this is one of the things that we are very proud of, that we embed our experience and know-how and patents in our systems. And I would like to show you one of the patents here. This is the Soliquator. The Soliquator is a patented pressurized clarifier, which separates solids from liquids. And here you can see how it is used. Several of these Soliquators shown here that occupy a very small footprint can replace a very large pond, which I'm sure you've already seen used nowadays. The same Soliquator can also be used for wastewater treatment, even in residential area or business area, because being a closed system, it doesn't emit any bad odors or any other substance. If we couple the Soliquators with other systems that we provide, we can use it for wastewater treatment. As you can see, what is the result? On the left, this is the raw water. This is the output of the Soliquator after the bioreactor, and then at the end, clear water. This is the quality of the systems that we offer treating wastewater treatment, wastewater shown on the left. Another innovative system of all this is the Whoosh. Whoosh is a system that allows you to fill drinking bottles with purified cool water in the midst of a city or a compound or anywhere that you want. Another aspects of useful aspects of what we offer is that we can install our systems in various containers, send them separately to the site, and then combine them on the site, and thus create system of any size required very efficiently and very rapidly. We also can power a system using solar panels, and we can also remotely control them using the internet as shown here. Another interesting aspect is addressing the disaster relief situation. These are some of the photographs taken by our technician in earthquake in Chile. And you can see the amount of destruction, and we offer in this situation a very simple concept where we need a water source, and then we offer a mobile water treatment system. In this case is for a river system, and then we can offer also the equipment to distribute the water. By the same token, we offer also mobile desalination system used in Chile. By the way, hundreds of units like this were sold to the UN, and they are deployed all over the world. And as you can see here, our system is deployed here in Chile and providing water to the inhabitants there. This is another case of
Mordechai, 1 more minute, okay? I'm sorry.
I will try to rush. And this is a tsunami in Thailand. We also provide a mobile bottling system machine that you can put in a container, and then you can use the treated water and distribute it to others. We also have agriculture solutions shown here, where we integrate our filters and technologies to create turnkey projects, as shown here, where we desalinate water, and then we create a greenhouse, nurseries, and other application in this site, using both desalination and filtration. So in summary, we have an internationally market success, and as you can see here, there are some of the systems deployed all over the world, and the list is keep on growing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yehuda. Okay, Menachem, sorry. What's better than fixing it? Preventing it, or at least getting prepared in advance in order to tackle a problem or a disaster. This is the subject of our next presenter, Dr. Amir Givati. He's the director of flood modeling at Climacell, and he will talk about new decision support tools for a changing climate. Amir? Amir, can you hear us?
Yeah, now I'm muted.
Okay,
so,
but please, like 6-7 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, I will be on time. Yeah, so as you said, I want to talk about more on the software side and not hardware, and to talk about preparedness and how to take better decision under changing condition, and share with you a bit from our experience, our global experience recently, and mostly from Israel. I will show a few examples from Israel. So just as a background, we all know that climate change affects almost every sector. We're talking today about water, the Water Day, but it also has a major effect on agriculture and infrastructure and almost every sector. And in order to be better prepared, we need to adopt new technology. First of all, to have the data, to monitor better the data, because you cannot take a decision without having good data. But at the end, and the data need to be in high resolution, in time and space, because there's a lot of information, global one by the UN, which is important. But at the end, if you are a farmer or you have utilities, either if it's energy or water or reservoir, you need to have something in the right resolution for you. So this is why you need to do data analysis with a bit of AI and machine learning. So the goal is to move from data into impact model, and that's what we are trying to do. We are doing quite successfully globally and also in Israel. We are looking for the impact. We want to give the user what they need. I mean, not tell them that it's going to be 1 degree warmer. Okay, it's interesting, but how does it impact your business? How does it impact your everyday life? So again, all of us know, and we also feel it in Israel also, in the agriculture and the water sector, that the recent year reflect growing trend of extreme weather event. And we want to bring those weather events into decision-making tools. It's actually a dashboard. It's a software. I will show in 1 minute an example. And don't forget that in addition to the climate factors that everyone talks about, there is a rapid land use changes, urbanization, fast development, and mega cities, mostly in APAC, yes, Asia and Pacific, and also in Latin America, that also influence the hydrological cycle. I will show it in a minute. The population growth and the growing demand for water, and also for food, make the climate crisis a real threat for billions in the world, mostly in the developing countries. So this is why it's essential to have better data and better decision-making tools in order to get the better decision and to benefit from that. So here we are focusing on floods, but it's the same also for drought. I mean, you can be on the wet sides of the coin, or either on the dry one. You see here the consequences globally. Just example for today. So Australia, Sydney is today underwater. They're having like the worst flood in a century, and just last year, and they had the worst summer heat wave, drought, and fire. So see here in this slide that at least I consider it that the changing climate is actually flood and drought are the two sides of the same coin, the same mechanism, same physical structure. And just the last slide of, like the scientific one, that we all have to understand that climate extreme and climate change does not affect only the atmosphere and the environment. It changed almost everything, what we call the hydrological cycle, because it's changed agriculture, it's impact agriculture, evaporation, soil moisture, infiltration to groundwater, the runoff, the water that flow on the ground, river flow, base flow, and flood, almost everything. So in order to make better decision and to be better prepared, we need to understand. We need to understand the feedback between all those variables. And that's what we are trying to do. I mean, we are trying to build like algorithm that take into account all those variables, like precipitation, wind, storm, infiltration, but at the end, give insight. The user, when he accesses this platform, he doesn't need to know all this hydrology. He just get recommendation, and I will show you in a minute. And as I said, better data will lead us to better management and better solution. But we need to understand that in most of the world, there are places that are relatively blind to weather data. So how can you act data? So before you can take decision, you need to have the data. So what we are doing is 3 stages. You see here, from left to right. First of all, observation. Before getting into algorithm and software and do all those sophisticated model, we need to collect observation. How do we do it globally? By satellite, getting the satellite data, radars, everything that is out there. We are sensing the weather. That's what we are doing. Then we can do the forecast. But again, focus is for professional. But what is important is the third one, the insight, the recommendation for actions. So this is how it looks like. On the right side is like all the machine learning. It's less important, but you see at the bottom action. So we're monitoring the atmosphere, the land surface. We collect data. From global model, from governmental agencies, everything that is out there. We develop indexes for every utility. It's different. The indexes are different for water or for agriculture, because if I need indexes for water resources, so it will be like water volume. If I deal with water scarcity, it's more like the drought. So we build indexes for each utility. Then we develop those impact model for every sector specifically, and the output is the cost-benefit decision making. Evacuate cities, I don't know, irrigated before the monsoon season, because the monsoon is going to delay. So the time space can be from tomorrow, for example, urban flooding, or it can be seasonal focusing, or even longer term. Who is working with this system? So you can see here example from Israel. So a lot of agency authorities, so IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, use it. This you see in the middle, the dashboard. This one is for flood, but it's the same also for drought. You see all kind of colors, brown, red. I will explain in 1 minute what does it mean. So IDF on the right, the Israeli Fire and Rescue Authority, which is the national agency for fire and security. They use it also in their operational center. Also the private sector for ICL, for example, it's the chemical company, big one in Israel, in the Dead Sea. They need to take decision during flood. They need a dashboard that will help them to take the decision. And many municipal, and every week there is another one that joins. So we started from the Tel Aviv municipality. Today we have also Ashdod, Ramat Gan, and others, Nes Ziona. How does it look like? So really fast. Again, we don't want anyone to deal with all those models and satellite and radar. Everything is getting—
Amir, please, last sentence, please summarize.
Yeah, this is the last slide. This is the last slide. You have a dashboard, you access to the dashboard, and then you see color. For example, red color means that your city is going to be flooded tomorrow. Brown means dry conditions, so irrigated. So if you see, sorry for the Hebrew, here on the bottom, you see the recommendation. So this is example from today in Israel. So you see the city name, for example, Rehovot, where Mashav is working also, the date, today, the 22, and colors. So it's a decision support system, it's a weather intelligence system, and it's help you to take better decisions. That's all in my 6 minutes, and you can answer after that question.
6 long minutes, let's not argue about that. One of the advantages I think that the water sector in Israel has is the connection, the strong connection between the academy and practical research. And also for that, I'm very happy to have here with us Professor Hadas Maman. She's the head of environmental engineering program at the School of Mechanical Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, Tel Aviv University. Hadas will talk about water, not this one, human-centered design of water technologies following floods in rural India, Kerala.
Thank you very much. Just let me know if you can hear me.
Yes,
okay.
You can.
So I know the time is short, so I'll talk really fast. I'd like to talk about a collaboration between Tel Aviv University and Amrita University. We sent students to do research in the villages in Kerala. They were there up to half a year, and this is a real quick summary of the collection of the data that we gathered during this time. But before we start, I'd just like to show you a small video of setting the scene for the collaboration between us and them. Just a second.
I think that we cannot hear you, so please make a voiceover on top of it, if you can.
Oh, just 1 second. Okay, so you cannot see it? Sorry?
Now we don't see nor hear.
You are not sharing your screen, Hadas.
Okay. Okay. I don't know what happened. Can you see now?
Yes,
okay,
we can see, we can't hear you, so just talk on it.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's go on because the time is short. So I'd like to set the scene. The scene is actually the 2019 floods. The current methods for assessing the community drinking water source is limited. The UN developed the Joint Monitoring Program, which is actually a tool to measure the drinking water conditions in the household level in rural communities. Within this tool, the people and the inhabitants in the village, in the household, are asked to bring their cup of water that they drink. And then this water is actually sampled, as you see here, mostly for E. coli. However, this test is limited, and we developed the Amrita Tau tool. Within this Amrita Tau tool, we actually capture the entire dimension of water quality and availability in the household level and the village community. We measure various water quality parameters chosen to capture the important indicators, and we also ask KAP questions to understand their knowledge, their attitude, and their practice and their culture practices for water consumption. When we talk about knowledge, we actually talk about the effects of the different treatments that the people do within their household. Where does the water come from? Who's responsible for the water? When we talk about attitude, we talk about what do the people think about the water that they drink? What are the values towards the water, the economic and the personal values? And about practice, so what do they do with their water? Who taught them? How do they do that? Do they introduce different treatment technologies and materials? To set the scene, the research was done in India, in Kerala, in the Alapad district. And this is, for example, a picture of Amrita students and our students doing the survey and asking questions in those villages. So the advantages of our approach, we use the smartphone and we use the survey CTO. And this hybrid methodology actually looks at monitoring the water quality in the household level. The water quality was also mapped and crossed the entire pathway from the water source to the household, to the pre and post treatment of the water within this within the household, within the village. We can also map the socio-economic factors that affect the water quality at each stage to understand the quality. In addition to that, we can map how the household treatments respond to and affect the water quality. And the hybrid methodology, so we ask the people questions. So for example, where do you collect the water? Who collects the water? How much do you pay for the water? Are you aware of other water sources? Do you treat the water? And how do you feel about the water that you drink? In parallel to that, we also take this glass of water that they drink, the primary water source, and we check it for different physical, biological, and chemical parameters, as we can see in this image. So we don't only get data on E. coli or coliforms in the water, but we also get information on the different water qualities. And this is the questionnaire that we developed. You can see here the start and the end. And we look at both social and GPS data that is collected by the Survey CTO application. And the participants are asked questions, but first we evaluate the demographics, the socioeconomic profile. For example, we analyze the BPL, so those that are below the poverty line. We understand how the water is managed within the household level. And then we ask the people, is the water piped, collected, or delivered? And then we ask them, do you drink this water that you're showing us for? And then we ask them, do you do any treatments on this water within the household level? And there we ask them questions about their perception of the water. Does the water has a color, smell, or taste? And how do they feel about this water? And then we again ask them about secondary sources. So this is, for example, the way that we did the survey. We also developed an on-site lab in the field. But also in some cases, for example, testing alkalinity, we took the water to the most closest nearby place where we could set a mobile lab, for example, and test alkalinity or hardness or different water quality parameters that we could not test in the field. And just to show you really quickly data, this is, for example, how we clustered the villages or the wards that we examined. We, of course, try to understand where is the water treatment plant, where does the water go, which wells are being used, are they public wells, are they personal wells within the household limit? And in addition to that, for example, this is an overlay of both turbidity and the waters that were sampled. Then we subdivided the water into piped, collected, and treated. Within the pipe, we wanted to understand those that get piped water, where does the water come from? So for example, in addition to that, what we found is that most of the water that are within the household level, that they get piped water, they also treat the water after piping, which means that they do not have trust for the piped, towards the piped water. Then, for example, for the water collected, how much time do they need to go to collect the water? Who's collecting the water? In most cases, of course, these are the women that live in the villages that are collecting the water. And how far do they need to go? What is the, how far do they need to go back and forth to collect the water and the water quality and all these things? Then we looked at water treatment on site. So for example, those that had rainwater harvesting or private wells within their household community. And then again, we also try to understand those that have water delivered. Is the water delivered through tank filling or is it delivered through bottles and cans? And then we wanted to know, do you have a secondary water source? So for example, we do not at our household have a secondary water source, but in these places, because of the water and the way that is delivered as some secondary water source. And this is, for example, if you see, this is not chai. This is actually their drinking water, and this water is brown due to a dissolution of iron. And this is especially in the floodings, anaerobic conditions result in dissolution of iron to the water, the impact. Then we wanted to check if the people treat their water at the household. So for example, we found that some people the water, other add traditional materials like cumin, jeera, roots and barks, and all kinds of medicinal plants, ginger to the water, and this is due to Ayurvedic medicine. Some people settle the water. Other people, for example, use straining by filters, and there are some people that actually added chlorine or bleach. We also try to subdivide.
I'm sorry. As you know, I can hear you for hours, and actually I did.
Yes,
but this time we need to conclude. Thank you.
Okay, this will be our last slide, and then again we wanted to understand how do the people think about the water, and what we're very surprised is that although people felt bad about their water quality, it was not due to color, taste, or smell. So they understood that there are different factors in the water that impact their quality. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hadass. The last presentation on this chapter regarding water and water in disaster events is actually about energy, because as you could see in most presentations, if you want to fix it, you need to have energy. And water security goes together almost always with energy security. And for that, we have Dorit Bennett. Dorit is the founder and CEO of Eilot Renewable Energy Initiative and chair of Keilot Ltd. She will talk about water and energy nexus in off-grid facilities. Dorit, are you still with us? Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. I don't know how to share the presentation. I can share. I don't have a share option.
You can share presentation, Dorit.
Share screen, okay. Okay, hi everyone. I'm the last one today for time being. So my name is Dorit, and I'm the CEO of Eilot Renewable Energy, but I'm talking now as a chair of directors of a company called Keilot. Keilot, that means Kenya and Eilot, our region. This company that is a private company, I will show you the owners immediately, a new one, working only 1 year in Kenya already. And we are very different from the other project you showed here, because we are bringing existing Israeli off-grid technologies, and we are working as a platform, acting as a platform for introducing, not to governments, not to NGOs, not to worldwide organization. We are introducing direct to the farmers. We are introducing all the technologies that are clean technologies that can improve their daily life and the environment with a very unique and innovative microfinance system. So where is the...
Can you just move to full screen? It will make it easier for people.
I'm not in a full screen, so I don't know. How do I do a full screen? Here is a full one. Yes. So who is Keilot? Keilot is owned by Eilot Renewable Energy Initiative, that we were also the founders. Shibolet Law Firm, that the lawyer Orit Marom Albeck was one of my partners in initiating this company. We had major investors. We have Doral Energy, infrastructure, environmental infrastructure energy. It's a big solar company in Israel, and they are holding 50% of the company. We have Capital Nature, our technology incubator, and Aravatech, the consortium of all the partners, of all the Arava kibbutzim in the Arava, 10 kibbutzim, and Peterburg Holdings, and all together making the company invested with $2.5 million, starting working in January 2020 in Kenya. Our target goal, create an innovative local sustainable market. We are emphasizing the market because this is something we are lacking in developing countries, and we want to stop working with big organizations, governments, or NGOs. We want to have direct connection to the client. So he will take responsibility on his life. He will see that it's worthwhile to invest in this technology, and he can harvest revenues and health by using that. Implementation innovative, sustainable technology, of course, we won't take nothing except Israeli sustainable technology. Our model that when we thought to start working on this subject, so we can see that we want to develop an R&D in the Arava region, and the real pilots and the real market should be Africa and developing world. We started in Kenya because this is a place that we feel comfortable to work in. So we have a business model, we have sales, and we want to duplicate in different countries. But all around, we are sitting there and having, seeing all the needs, because you know, Israel is a startup country, but the needs we know about are the Western world needs. We don't need to know what are the needs in Africa or in India or wherever it is, not what we think they need. So it's very important to see what they need, to bring to our laboratories here in the Arava, to the R&D, and try to develop the technology for that will reach their needs and an affordable price that the farmers can buy by himself. So what we are doing in Kenya, you see in the middle our staff. This is our staff, and you see Omri. Omri is our CEO, sitting located in Nairobi. We have mobile demo centers. You see a truck that goes from place to place. In all the cooperatives, we sign with the cooperative MOUs where we can enter all their centers. With the cooperative, we started with the milk cooperative in Kenya, and we are presenting our demo centers, and the local people are coming to our demo centers, touching, feeling, understanding. We have some leading farmers that we installed our technologies in their places, and it's a lot of instruction and feeling the technologies. What the technologies we are using. So of course you heard before, Mino, Nuf Technologies, water filtration facility, I don't have to understand. And it's amazing how much orders we get to this new facility, and all kinds of variety of installation, because we have engineers that fits the technology to the needs of the farmers. It's not that giving them the facility, you have to fit their needs. Here you see water before filtration and water after filtration. Here you see a house with a 25 room that is renting to locals, and we put the new filtration with our engineer in the top of the roof, and we have, he's selling to his attendants to the people that live in the rent their houses. He sells clean water direct to the houses. So you can have all kind of variety, and you have also a farmer that takes the water to his yard and have clean water to himself. Another technology, the Israeli technology, is called Solav, a hot water maker. That means you can see here is also the container and also the heat body inside, that is the sun. And it's 100 liters of hot water that we are installing on the rooftops or on the ground, and we can put 10 in a row, we can put 1 in a row, 2, 3, 4, as much as the clients need. And here how they take the Solav to the rooftop. Here you can see the embassy in Israel, in Kenya, the Israeli embassy in Kenya bought from us 10 facilities of Solav, and we installed it in a children orphanage in Nairobi, and we have showers for 100 children by the help of the Israeli government, and it's proved himself as something that can change their life. Also, another
2 minutes, okay?
Yes, another technology, we have Helico water collectors, portable water collectors. It's nice, an Israeli student startup, and we give the stage for those startups. And of course, home biogas, that we take organic waste to cooking gas. This is our star. We sell in hundreds, I can tell you already. We have signed agreement with the local banks, cooperative banks, Sacco banks, and a huge bank in Nairobi that gives the loans for the microfinance for those farmers. And amazingly how it works for 18, we have 3 models: pay as you use, pay as you grow, a regular loan, and for now we're just having successes with this agreement. And of course, we give solar power. That is the easiest thing to give with pay-as-you-go, pay-as-you-use system. Here you can see the cooperation with the Israeli embassy. We have a great relationship with them in Kenya. And what I want to show you is, if I can, please, a short 2 minutes movie. And you will see our company, and I hope we can give a platform for all kinds of Israeli technologies in the water energy nexus, of course, clean technologies, and in off-grid solutions. And I will share, I will share the movie, share the screen, and thank you for listening.
Keylot Kenya, part of the Keylot Group, is developing and installing clean technology solutions for disconnected communities. Keylot is an Israeli-Kenyan company developing and assimilating off-grid technologies in developing countries with a focus on Africa. Keylot is a solution company bringing hope and prosperity to remote communities and last-mile farmers. Our solutions are made in Israel. We are focused on 3 pillars: water treatment, renewable energy, and efficiency solutions. We have the latest technologies fit for purpose that can economically suit our remote clients. We utilize natural resources and renewable clean energy in order to save costs. We strive to reach anyone, anywhere, with the purpose of improving lives. Our solutions provided include home biogas systems, water collection system, semi-automatic milking pumps, water purification systems, solar water heaters for home usage, and solar microgrid, including EPC projects. Our activities interlink with various Israeli innovation companies like Home Biogas, NUF Filtration, Helico, and Solav. We represent these companies as exclusive distributors. Many non-profit organizations and NGOs are working towards resolving the developing world's problems based on the SDG goals. The problems are many, the challenges are huge and diverse, yet there is no one holistic solution to the problems. The greater the number of initiatives, the greater the chances they will all eventually interconnect to a more conclusive solution. we combine back-end development and R&D along with our on-the-ground setup, supporting our clients with our technical teams and after-sales services. Keylot is able to develop new solutions for the developing market needs, as well as develop the business financing and logistics framework. We identify challenges, find innovative technological solutions, sourced mainly out of Israel, and implement them in the field. This complex and unique marketing strategy enables ongoing dialogue with the consumers, understanding their needs, R&D, innovation assimilation, finding local financing sources, local logistics, and marketing. Keylot was established in November 2019, following 2 years in which the field was closely studied and effort invested in consolidating an optimal framework. Our emphasis is on Kenya, and we intend to gradually expand our operations to Eastern Africa and later the African continent as a whole. We intend to reach every farmer in Kenya and present them with the technologies we offer through our demo centers distributed all over the country. Keylot is a young company, and despite all COVID-19 pandemic conditions and restrictions, has successfully recruited investors while simultaneously implementing its strategy in the field with 8 showrooms around the country. We are constantly looking to develop new clients, relationships, and partnerships with similar objectives, providing off-grid solutions in order to make a better, cleaner, and healthier world.
Okay, thank you very much, Dorit. Since I think we already could understand, especially from Dorit's presentation, let's put it this way. The private sector, they have an ever-growing importance in our field as well, in the field of aid and relief. And we need to deal with this as well and be prepared with this as well. So we will conclude with 2 of my colleagues. One of them is sitting together with me at Mashav, and the other one is on the economic division. Shalom Turgeman is a special advisor for public-private partnership, PPP affairs. And Ilan Flus is the deputy head of economic division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We will start with Shalom, that has built an interesting model that allows the private sector be involved in the project, and then, in a sense, benefit also the cooperation efforts between Israel and others. He will talk about the engagement of the Israeli private sector with Mashav activities, the PPP model. Shalom, thank you.
Thank you, Yoram, for the opportunity, and thank you all for waiting until now. My audience will be both the embassies and countries and the private companies. We in Mashav here built a model in order to engage the private sector with the activities of Mashav and the activities of the public sector, mainly in places, remote places, where private sector has no direct accessibility. And the model is, and our idea is to engage the activities and help the private sector identifying new opportunities and operating in new markets. The model is that instead of going to a public tender or international tender, in order to enjoy the Israeli technologies, we will sign with the host country a government-to-government agreement. And in this agreement, the host government will commit itself to choose an Israeli company to implement the project as will be identified. And in return for choosing an Israeli company, Mashav will develop with the host country an aid package. And this package will be on the expense of Mashav, and it will be, in a way, as part of the project or adjacent to the project. And hopefully it will increase the bilateral cooperation by implementing those projects. So we have a G2G agreement that will set the framework of cooperation in which the host country will have to choose the Israeli company. After that, the Israeli company that will be chosen by the country will commit to Mashav to implement the project in the best way possible and the most professional way. And then the third agreement will be a commercial agreement between the chosen company and the host country. Now, after that, for implementing the project, we can approach, or we will help the company approach the Israel Credit Insurance Company in order to grant insurance for the project. And through it, it will be easier for the Israeli company to approach any commercial bank in Israel to finance the project or to help finance the project and to give, at least for the first round of engagement, the needed financing to it. The model started to be implemented in 4 countries where we have already agreements with, and those are Honduras, Colombia, Serbia, and the Philippines. And there are many other countries that we are exchanging now last drafts of agreements. So I'm now approaching both sides. If you are a private company and you want to have or to implement a project in a country where you identify a project and you need a G2G umbrella in order to implement the project, let us know and we will try and help. And if you are a country that has a project and you need to to be engaged with an Israeli company that will do the job for you or will implement the project, we can also do that and recommend on a company or companies that can do the job. We are now dealing with Mashav activities or Mashav areas like agriculture, water, education, and health, but we are opening it to energy and to other spheres as you see fit. And we are willing to help you, Israeli companies, to penetrate into those markets. I am available to any questions that you may have, probably not now, but Yoram has my details. You can approach me and you can ask all the questions and in which countries we are functioning, and we are willing to help and give you all the information needed in order to help you penetrate those markets and enjoy projects or win projects in major scales.
Thank you, Shalom. Thank you very much. And I remind you all that you have Shalom's details also at the paper you got from Dalia Noy, Shalom's, and all the others. Last but not least, definitely not least, we have Ilan Flus that will present the work of the economical division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and how it relates to all that you have heard until now. Thank you. Ilan?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I know we're very late, so I'm going to be very short. Let me also thank Mashav for organizing this day. And obviously the focus of this day is working on the development cooperation activities. However, we believe that working with the private sector, end of the day, and bringing technologies, this is the key for sustainable programs, for long-term programs. So we should start from aid and then move to the trade or to the private sector aspect. Mashav is the department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I think most of you are familiar with the economic department, and we are dealing with assisting and helping companies in entering new markets. We are working through all Israeli embassies abroad. The issue of water is very much related to climate change and to the sustainability agenda. So for us, this is high on our agenda. And we are, so we'll be happy to work with you in introducing companies and new technologies and working with your private sector, in connecting them to our private sector and creating together business opportunities, which basically lead to long-term relationships. You have seen some of the technologies that are available, technologies and approaches that are available in Israel, and obviously we'll be happy to facilitate such engagement. Since the time is short, I will end my words here, and it's a pleasure to be with Mashav. I have a long history with Mashav, so it's always a pleasure to join your meetings. I want to thank Yoram because you're doing a very important work, which is connecting Israeli technology in a critical sector to our work. So thank you very much. And I'll be happy to touch with any that is interested to create a sort of, I would say, economic or commercial or private sector partnerships. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ilan. So now we're only 38 minutes late behind schedule, which is reasonable if we will consider ourselves as Middle Easterners that are working according to a Middle Eastern clock. But then let's give you some options. So I would like the head of Mashav, Einat Schlein, to say a few words to conclude the part that we had until now. And then whoever wants to stay, we will open the floor for questions. Again, please write them down in the chat box, and I hope that our experts and guests are still here with us. If not, I will be here to answer your questions until someone will just collapse if needed. I'm here for you. So Einat, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Yoram. And I wanted to thank all the participants, all those who presented and all those who listened. As I mentioned before, Israel has a lot of innovative solutions to offer, whether it is for first responders, whether we speak of purifying water techniques, or any other of the wonderful ideas that are presented here today. So I would like to encourage you to follow up on all of these ideas, and hopefully we could be of great assistance to you. Thank you for staying till now, and I hope this was very useful. Thank you, Yoram.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Einat. So now we'll open the floor for questions. Until now, we did not have any, which means that you are all totally exhausted. But in any case, I remind you again, you have that paper with some details, like a brief on all the companies and all the people that gave us some interesting, very interesting presentations. And you also have our details. We're here for you. And if I would need to conclude these last 2 hours and a half in a sentence or two, I could say that I hope that you understand now not only the importance of Mashav's activity, but the fact that we really are here in order to give our part in the collaboration and cooperation regarding water and making potable water available for all, and that we have the know-how, we have also the technology, and more importantly, we have the will to be a part of the world effort in helping people, especially in the water sector. So I'll wait for 10 more seconds and then we'll farewell. Flow for questions. Until now, we did not have any, which means that you are all totally exhausted. But in any case, I remind you again, you have that paper with some details, like a brief on all the companies and all the people that gave us some interesting, very interesting presentations. And you also have our details. We're here for you. And if I would need to conclude these last 2 hours and a half in a sentence or two, I could say that I hope that you understand now not only the importance of Mashav's activity, but the fact that we really are here in order to give our part in the collaboration and cooperation regarding water and making potable water available for all, and that we have the know-how, we have also the technology, and more importantly, we have the will to be a part of the world effort in helping people, especially in the water sector. So I'll wait for 10 more seconds and then we'll farewell. Thank you all. Thank you very much for being with us. We really hope it was helpful and interesting, though very much longer than what we have expected. And happy World Water Day for all of us. Thank you, Lara, to begin with. Thank you very much, Dalia Noy. I have no words to express my appreciation for all the work that she has done. And you know what, they are the most important ones in this project, even more than I am. So thank you all, my people in Mashav, at the Economic Division, and at the Water Authority, and at the MATC, and everybody. See you, hopefully, before the next World Water Day. Goodbye to you all and have a wonderful day. Thank you.